Hi guys, I am John Carrick, author of Legacy of a Mad Scientist and the Legend of Ashley Fox. Today we're looking at 100 Bullets, number 26. But first we've got the World Fantasy Tarot, Two of Swords, the Ghost. Because why not? Of course it should be in here, everything else is. This deck is awesome. Looks like it's in a church too, with a stairwell going up or some kind of loft. The Holy Ghost. Alright. 100 Bullets, 26. Yes, I don't have 25. It is missing, but it's all right. We will get it. You can read this series issues out of order. And today is a catch-up issue. It's really kind of awesome. This is a recap issue. And look at this list of names. Azzarello, Risso, Miller, Gibbons, Lee, Bennett, Jones, Chiarello, I think that's how it's pronounced, Bradstreet, Jusko, Pope, and Bermilo. This is going to be fun. And the cover by Dave Johnson looks just like Joseph Jordan, aka Eric Stryker, the man, the myth, the legend. We'll talk about him and Warren Ballow in just a minute, or Balog, however you pronounce his name. I think it's French, but it's not my name, so what the fuck do I know? Mr. Branch tells all. 100 Bullets, 26. I'll explain this in a little bit too. But first, this comic is great. Still in Paris. This is Branch. These guys are having a cigarette, talking smack to Branch and his girlfriend. It is really interesting that they used Lou Grant, Bob Hoskins, as Mr. Branch. He is a picture perfect. He's a reporter too. I mean, this is just... I love this book, so much about it. It is a product of its time. So he's bringing a girlfriend, a prostitute, home for the evening. And he is going to explain, she apparently only speaks French. And he's going to explain everything on the wall to her, his entire investigation, his life's work. He's going to explain it to this complete stranger while she makes herself at home. He pours himself a drink, she takes the bottle. And now what's all this? He starts to tell her, well, I'll tell you, do you speak English? No. Okay, then that's perfect. You don't need to know anyhow, but let me explain. Oh, wow, I just noticed he's got a bunch of Jew stars on his shirt. How about that? Wow, Branch is a Zionist. You guys should read the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, or you don't know what you're up against. So, it's a map. Megan, Cole Burns, the Minutemen. This guy we have not met yet. He's probably in issue 25. That looks like an older Mia, or a younger Mia, an older photograph of Mia. And he's going to explain everything to her. He's going to tell her who all these people are. The real juice of this issue, the real meat of this issue is in the guest artists. Wait till you check this out. This is so cool. And it does explain them later. Hunter, The Age of Magic, a teenaged Harry Potter, if you ever read those books. They weren't great. They weren't awful, but they certainly were not great by any stretch of the imagination. This one is, we get it at the end. I'm not sure who this is. I should know. I think this is Gibbons. I don't know. But Mr. Branch is going to explain to his young girlfriend who all these players are. This is the trust. This is his investigation into everyone who's anyone. Here's Benito leaning up against a mirror, taking in the scene behind him. This is Joe Jusko. Megan Dietrich just killed a guy. Remember I said I hope Benito doesn't get in bed with Megan because he will wake up dead. And this guy certainly did. One of a kind, Megan Dietrich. Mad Magazine. So they proceed along their rendezvous. He pulls out the cash. That is Bob Hoskins' Lou Grant. It sure as hell is. There's Cole Burns. And he says, Cole Burns is the scariest guy I've ever known. Absolute psychopath. He's not Lono, though. Lono's worse. Lono is way worse. Safe, stop, then go. What a great comic. Now, this is after Image launched, but they got Jim Lee to come back. That's Jim Lee right there doing Lono in the water after he's killed a bunch of people. Branch explains that Lono is a dangerous, scary guy too. He's explaining the Minutemen and what they do. And we're going to get to what all of this is going on. I think it might even be back here that he explains that the Minutemen, or that the Trust in general, pulled off the absolute biggest crime of all time about 400 years ago. To me, that's Waterloo. That is the Rothschild purchase of the English stock market after the Battle of Waterloo. If you don't know what happened during the Battle of Waterloo, the Rothschilds, I believe it was Nathan Meyer Rothschild, was funding both sides of the war. And he was cross-dressing to slip across enemy lines. This is shown in the Sharp movies with Sean Bean, where he plays Colonel Sharp, Major Sharp. He started off as a sergeant, but then he got promoted. He got a battlefield promotion by Wellington. And Wellington was taking money from the Rothschilds, and Napoleon was taking money from the Rothschilds to keep the war going. So Branch is enjoying his evening, but he's explaining the 13 families, the trust. And this is, I think this is, it's not Bradstreet. It might be Paul Pope. We get a rundown at the end. I should know. I did just look at it, but I didn't memorize it. He explains about how Shepard is working for the trust while Graves does not. I want to look at that really quick too, because I don't want to be saying something wrong. Oh yeah, this is a great description. I want to explain this right, because this is a great description. He says Shepard is involved in nothing, but he's always around. He's always present. Therefore, he is involved in everything. Shepard knows what's up. A little bit of knowledge can go a long way. Again, great art. These one-page, shots. And just in our last episode, I was complimenting Eduardo Risso for keeping up this hellacious pace of 22 pages a month. We're 2 years in now. This is book 26. So they've been on time. I don't remember this having a history of being routinely late or ever late. I wasn't buying floppies though. I read it as a trade. Here we go with the Minutemen. Here's all of them. Agent Graves. They asked Agent Graves, so after they pulled off the greatest theft, the greatest scam of all time, they wanted to do it again, and Graves said no. And you do not tell these people no. Again, Branch is enjoying his evening, spilling his guts to a complete stranger. And we get the, TNA artwork, which is always fun to draw. And who doesn't like looking at a beautiful woman? I suppose other beautiful women, but that's neither here nor there. He's telling her about his life's work. She's getting him undressed. She wants to get paid and get gone. She's not in this for a story. She's in it for a payday. She's got to make rent too. Bradstreet. Punisher in prison. That's a Tim Bradstreet mouth. That's a Tim Bradstreet face. This is Luke Hughes from the earlier issues. Him and his dad. His dad got killed by some rather unsavory individuals. He was a bagman for a loan shark. Like Big Chris in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Ah, this is the guy. What is his name? So this is the guy that we saw up in the penthouse, who I didn't get his name. His name isn't listed on this page, but this is where, there's Megan. This is where they list, where this guy explains that the trust 400 years ago, the trust pulled off the crime of the century and they want to do it again. Crime of the millennium, and they want to do it again. And Graves told them no. I don't know if this is Joe Bennett, but this is Bennett. I don't know his first name. I'm not sure about it. But yeah, I love this comic. I love this comic so much. And I'm not into crime comics specifically either. I'm into good stories. This is a good story. It's a cool page. Suppose I should read it, but I'm not going to right now. FM. That's Agent Graves. Yeah. Branch is having a very fun night. For him, I mean, he's Bob Hoskins, a.k.a. Danny DeVito. I found out recently that Danny DeVito is not Jewish. He was raised Catholic. He only married a Jew, Rhea Perlman. And he's worth almost $4 billion. Good for you, Danny. Good for you. Get some, man. Get some. Especially being Danny DeVito. I arrogantly once stated that he'd probably trade all that money for one day in my body. Not missing an eye, but, you know, I'm 6'2". I was a fashion model for quite a while. I just have the right build for it. I never had a portfolio. I never did runway work, but I did magazine work. Dizzy Cordova by Dizzy Cordova. This says Jones down here as the signature. I don't recognize that name. We're going to find out at the end because they all get their credits at the end here. This girl looks like Dizzy. I don't think that's an accident. I don't think that's an accident at all. Branch is done already. Very expensive 30 seconds for Mr. Branch. This is Dizzy's fight in France, in Paris. The little cat. I know I'm going through this fast, but we get all these big pages of great art. Just hit pause. The stars have gone, well, they're 6-sided. Some of these look 5-sided. Maybe it's just crumpled from being on the bed. By the time she finishes in the bathroom, Branch is asleep and she cleans him out. Because why wouldn't she? That's her money. If you know who you're dealing with, I've never been with a prostitute. I don't ever want to. To me, that seems like the worst thing you could do to a person. I've had some girlfriends who treated me like a prostitute, and I was not into it. Wow, over already. She slams the door and he wakes up. Here's all our names. Paul Pope, Joe Jusko, Mark Chiarello, Jim Lee, Lee Bermilo, Dave Gibbons, Tim Bradstreet, Jordy Bennett, Frank Miller, J.G. Jones, Dizzy Cordova. What an awesome issue. He is in love with Dizzy. There's no doubt about that. So that's it. Sorry for going through this so fast. I'm going to explain why in just a minute. Warped Tour. I remember this. Mr. Branch tells all. Oh, here's an important bit too. She speaks perfect English. She understood everything he said. She might actually be a bunch of trouble for Branch's immediate future. Because Branch, I don't know if he still has the gun, but he never used it. He just used it to open an investigation into the trust. Who are the Illuminati? Who are the Rothschilds? Who are the people running your world and mine? So yeah, there we go. 100 bullets, 26. Hey guys, I am John Carrick, author of Legacy of a Mad Scientist and The Legend of Ashley Fox, the most amazing science fiction, fantasy, audio, books, novels, stories you'll ever read. Once they get big, and they will get big because God didn't fucking kill me today. I was ready to go, but I'm still here. Whenever they put you under general anesthetic, there's always a chance you might not wake up. So you best have your shit sorted out. And as you can see, today was the day. I have to go back tomorrow. They take the bandages off. I'm supposed to keep my head down. I'm supposed to sleep on my stomach tonight. When I do look up something, I guess they injected gas into my eye in order to help reset the retina. But that's not what I want to talk about. This isn't all about me. This is for you guys. And I love 100 Bullets so much. This is such a good story. And boy, isn't this the story of our times. In 2000, this was coming out into a vacuum. This didn't matter. It certainly matters now. Look at everything that's happened since. So, yeah, the ghost. Today's conflicted card says your group, what is this? This two of hearts? Two of diamonds. Your group is running out of supplies, running out of food and water. And there are other groups around, etc. But would you go out looting? Here's the thing to understand. If everything falls off, if everything goes down, how do I phrase this? The only ownership is what you can hold. You only have what you can hold. You only have the lands you can hold. Now, if you have a deed to the land, if you own the land, sure, you can fight for it. You can fight to keep it. But a lot of that stuff is going to change hands. There's going to be new city-states cropping up all over the world if everything collapses. Now let's hope it doesn't, you know? Let's hope it doesn't. So, yeah, I have too many things to talk about right now, and I don't really have a lot to say. One thing I did want to say is I thought about, I could record these early. I could record these ahead of time and have some spaced out, and ready to go, ready to upload, ready to go up if for some reason, I wasn't able to upload today. I thought about doing that, and it's not that it feels wrong. I know some skaters do that. Dan Corrigan does that, but Dan Corrigan gets 3 hours of amazing footage out with his friends and only puts up 20-minute videos. So it's smart for him. For me, I kind of want to be in the zeitgeist. I don't want to get news cucked by something like Val Kilmer passing away last night or, whatever else happens. It's not that I don't want to. You guys should watch War Room with Warren Bellow and Joe Jusko, Warren Ballog and Joe Jusko, a.k.a. Eric Stryker. These guys were in the National Justice Party. They were part of the TRS, The Right Stuff podcast network. And there was a fracturing there. Remember I talked about these silos. It doesn't happen just inside Comicsgate. It's happening all over. Infighting happens. Infighting is a thing. And it sucks, It sucks to see your friends fight. It sucks to see your friends not talk to each other anymore. But that's what happens, Chris Cantwell, Andrew Anglin both got accused of giving info to the feds. They weren't. They were just trying to show how innocent white people are and that white people are being railroaded into the worst people ever. I am the worst people ever. I've said before that I'm Lucifer and that I know his name. It's not his name, it's my name. It's my true name. God ain't ready to cut me loose yet. One thing I wanted to talk about with this board glows in the dark. I will try to get some footage of that for you guys. I'm way too far away from the lights right now to turn them off and show you. But this board, just like this grip tape, glows in the dark. And because I learned to skate at night, because I don't want to go out and pick fights with a bunch of 20-somethings for being a bad skater. I don't want to have them call me names and have to fucking confront them and talk shit and laugh and make jokes and pretend to be their friends. So I just learned to skate at night. As this got worse, that got more difficult and less appealing. So we'll see what happens this spring. I have been out skating recently. Not much, 20 minutes at a time. No 3-hour sessions, no 4-hour sessions like I used to. And it is kind of bullshit that this happened right as I sort of reached my happiest moment in life. I got humbled again. And that's just how life goes sometimes. I guess if there is I believe that Jupiter, Zeus, Odin, I don't want to say Yahweh because I think Yahweh is Lucifer. Well, or Baal, or Belial. Lucifer is Prometheus. But I've been, one of my trolls is to say that Jesus is Odin's son and he and Thor are brothers. And that, to me, that's hilarious. That's the novel I'm writing right now. Odin is the god of all gods. God had a million different names when he came to Earth. Quetzalcoatl, the old man. And so that's me being me. And I don't know what else to say. I need to go to sleep now. I need to edit this and upload it and go to sleep. I made some cheeseburgers when I got home. I love cooking cheeseburgers now. It's my new thing. Get some grass-fed beef, mix in some teriyaki sauce and egg to sort of hold it together. I've got one waiting for me over there. I just had one a little while ago. I haven't eaten all day. And I worked all night last night, so I haven't been to sleep since fucking well over 24 hours now. I snoozed a little bit at the hospital, but not really. And of course, they knocked me out. I don't know if that counts as sleep. I'm not tired, and I still got some work to do. Miles to go before I sleep. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I hope everything is going awesome with you. I hope it's going way better than me. But you know what? And I've got my 1911 here somewhere. God forbid any motherfuckers get in my way now. See you guys tomorrow.